Okay.
Hi, my name is Siboney, and I graduated Streamwoods High School in 2018.
Okay, so what school do you attend now?
I attend to the University of Houston.
So, how are college classes like?
How are they?
Yeah.
I took AP classes during high school, so it's not really much of a difference for me. But I think if you're like taking academic classes, it could really not affect you, but you might be surprised by how much work you have because you're like there's more reading into and like more of like you have to learn from yourself and teach yourself like material that is not being taught in your class.
Okay, so is there a lot of work, like a lot of classwork assignments, a lot of homework assignments you have to do?
There are, but if you keep what I do that benefits me a lot is that I keep an agenda, and I kind of monitor my quizzes and my homework. Like for example, in my college algebra class, I have about 2 to 3 quizzes every week and 2 homeworks every week. But if you keep up with the homework and the quizzes, then I think you'll be fine.
Okay, so with that amount, what would happen if, say, you did bad on an assignment? Can you make up on the other assignment?
No, you can. And I learned that in college, there's no retest or no makeups. Yeah, I mean, you're able to go to your professor's office hours and ask them like, what you missed. But just because you're going to their office hours, it's not gonna benefit your grade. It's just gonna benefit your knowledge of the material that you didn't learn.
Okay, so do they accept late work?
No, they don't accept late work at all. Like it's either you turn it in on time or you don't. They don't want to hear about excuses.
Oh, so that means it's a zero for your late work, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then you mentioned about there's no test correction, no retest policy.
No, that's not retest or no.
So what would happen if, say, on the first test you got like a 40? What do you need to do to improve your grades?
What I recommend is to go over what you missed and maybe go to tutoring. A lot of colleges offer like a lot of tutoring networks with peers that you're able to where they're able to help you with any material that you haven't learned, so you're able to be more successful in the next test.
Okay, so basically you're saying that if they get like a low grade on a test, no retest, that means do they have to get a higher grade on the next test
Yeah, they have to kind of even out and balance like basically you have to get like a really high A in order to balance
to
the low
average
grade.
out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying just to average out.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, you took my class with It's Learning. How did that help you?
It really helped me a lot because in college, It's Learning is known as, for my college, it's known as Blackboard. And you have all your courses that you take just as similar as It's Learning. And for Mr. Wynn's class, we took our quizzes on online, and they were like with a limited amount of time. And in my college algebra class, it's the same thing. You take the quizzes whenever it's due, like before it's due, and they also have a time frame. So it really like it was an easy transition for me to go from pre-cal like using It's Learning to college algebra using Blackboard.
Okay. So, how are the professor like?
I think each professor is very different. Like some of them could be very outgoing, but some of them could just teach and teach and teach. And like I'm not gonna lie, like there's a class where like it can get pretty boring, but you have to like if you don't understand something, you have to go after class and try to understand that because everything that you learn in class that you might find boring, it's gonna come up in the test.
Oh, okay. So, what would you need to do if you miss one class?
A lot of professors recommend to make friends in class, so in case you ever do miss class, you could see their notes. Or also they have if they're like doing like a presentation, they will have all the slides on like Blackboard, which is like It's Learning, or you could use the textbook that's online, but you have to buy the textbook.
Okay. So, even if you miss a day of class, what would happen if you miss the day of the test?
Oh, that's bad.
What would
Um,
happen?
well, for me, if I miss a test for my college algebra class, you may not be, because it depending on the day that you take it. Like for example, let's say that I missed like the last day to take the test and I missed it that day, then I can't make it up. I'll just get a 0.
There's nothing you can do to like extra credit or change that grade.
No, it's no extra credit at all. It's either you do it or you don't.
So if I miss it, it's an automatic 0 and that's it.
Yes. Even if you cry, whatever you do, it's not gonna work.
Okay. So could you tell like what is the difference between high school classes and college classes?
I think the difference is the teachers and the professors. A lot of teachers in high school, they give a lot, like too much extra credit and like extra work for you to, like in case like let's say that you miss school and like if you miss a test, they arrange a time for you to come after school. But in college, you have to learn to balance your time and your time wisely, because it's so different. Like the atmosphere, the level of like knowledge that you have to learn, it's very very different. It's a lot. I recommend that if you are going to college, like appreciate Mr. Went's work or any other teacher's work, because they're really trying to help you to go higher than high school.
Okay. So last question. Do you have any advice for Springwood seniors, the ones who are getting ready to graduate and go to college or working in the real world?
I would just say if you are going to college, go ahead and start applying for scholarships, because they will benefit you. Even if I was you, like in my position, I didn't apply for any scholarships and it affected me. Although FAFSA did give me enough money for my tuition, I wish I would have applied for scholarships, because they're very helpful if you have too many classes and you can't work. Scholarships will benefit you. What's another one? Study for your SAT and your ACT. They really help. They kind of determine if you get accepted into a college or a program. For example, the good thing about me, not a good thing, but what helped me a lot is that I was in the top 10% of my class, and my GPA didn't really. I mean, my SAT scores didn't really matter. But if you're like in the top 25%, you have to make sure that your SAT and ACT scores are very high. And for anyone that's going to the workforce, thank you for serving our country. And I hope I've seen a lot in my college that a lot of veterans or people that are off the military or army, they go back to school. So if you plan on going to the army, I think it's really good for you, because your tuition will get paid for after you serve, like for a certain amount of time in the army or in the military or in the Navy.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.